dreams to turn from dream to reality. We have to build in Jerusalem a communication center and on tremendous views of the mountains of Jerusalem, and to put a village and to create productions in this place, to make a little Hollywood in the mountains of Jerusalem.
مش انا هو شوفي اي شوفته تركوا شوف عليه ايه هو يطلعش نهار بيسلم على موتوسيكل تركوا امشوا
While the hijacked TWA jet was still on the tarmac in Beirut, Cannon began production of The Delta Force, a film which would tell the story of what Menahem Golan thought should happen next. The hostages would be rescued by an elite American counter-terrorist force, led by Chuck Norris and Lee Marvin. Delta Force was shot entirely on location in Israel and was directed by Golan himself. Inside Cannon's aeroplane set, Hannah Shagula plays the German stewardess, forced to help identify the Jews among the hostages.
Did they tell you why they want our passports? Do you know why? We get them back. We need those passports.
אתה שם אחורנית. אחרון. אתה אחורנית.
We're members of Delta Force and we're here to take you home.
2/3 of the way, or 3/4 of the film is very accurate, and then it's sort of a dream or wishful thinking. I think most Americans wish that this had happened and hope that it does, God forbid if there's a next time. So it does, you do feel it very strongly, because outside in the real world it's going on, what you're acting.
That was terrific. Good for us. Terrific.
Visually, you have an area that's been at war for so many, centuries, I guess. So there's all, well, I mean, look at our backgrounds. I mean, this is just every day here. And the urgency of the people, and there's an urgency in Israel that you don't see in other places. You know, they're very moving, very warm, and very open, all because they have to live so rapidly, in the sense of that they're living under this terrorism that they have here, you know.
I think terrorism is going to get greater all over the world. And I think it's time that we started doing something about it right now, rather than waiting until it gets to such a problem that we can't deal with it.
American, I want to negotiate. Do you hear me, American?
Loud and clear.
But it's very rare to have in advance, long time in advance, such kind of material.
They really rushed
Usually
this
it's come
well.
afterwards.
They
rushed this,
Yeah.
it was a
But they did
special
well.
order.
It's really nice, I think.
Very nice.
To help the launching of the film, I think it's a very nice idea.
It's already in French on the side.
Yes, but they made some mistakes, by the way, in here.
Mistake.
Yeah. For example, they wrote, you see that, tout dernier modèle. It's tout dernier modèle. But you know,
you.
that's for the fun.
A real-life world crisis that ended without slaughter is given a very different ending in a new movie. It's called Delta Force, and our entertainment editor, David Sheehan, has, of course, seen it, and he's here to tell us about it.
Well, I want to tell you that this, I think, is an exploitation movie in the very worst sense of the term. Blatantly and brainlessly concocted to inspire vengeful hatred toward Arabs and Palestinians with a very manipulative restaging of the TWA hijacking of last June. Delta Force is such a flagrant attempt to celebrate irrational racial hostility. I think you're bound to be at least slightly sickened by it, no matter what your political or ethnic sympathies may be. In fact, the one encouraging thing, the paying audience I saw it with groaned and moaned a whole lot more than they cheer. I think that's because it's so crude and cartoony, maybe it won't have that much effect.
All right, good to know that. Thank you.
Thank you, David.
If one of our pictures is coming out and the critics love it, and everybody is saying that it's a great picture, I know that I'm in trouble. Because that means that the people are not going to queue near the box office. And contrary, when they are saying bad things, I'm happy, because that's I know that this is going to be a smash.
Delta Force took $6 million within 4 days of its release in the United States and Canada, and is doing good business in Europe and Asia. It opens at 100 British cinemas next Friday. To celebrate the move to their new headquarters and the opening of Delta Force, Golan and Globus invited Hollywood to a black tie party. There were over 2,000 guests.
How are you? Yes, good evening. Thank you for coming.
It's a great evening.
We are going to do that movie. We have John Rivers already, and you, and it's going to be a blockbuster of the century.
Delighted to see you.
Delighted to see you. Okay, see you later.
For sure. So we can show you this building. You can come in, make a movie, and live with the movie. Everything is there, honestly.
I believe it.
Everything
And you know
is in the building.
We want you both here in the building. Okay.
Okay?
Yes, thanks. You see, we're on television.
Thank you. Enjoy the party.
Thank
Enjoy
you.
the party. Enjoy the party.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's upstairs. You go.
The party was held on the top 3 floors of their new multi-story car park, astro-turfed for the occasion.
The whole thing is that movies are entertainment, but there's 2 types of violence on the screen that the liberals don't seem to understand. You have negative violence, which provokes violence on the screen, which I think is bad. But a person who is retaliating against violence, just like you will do on the street if you're attacked, I think is good. You cannot hide your head in the sand and say there is not violence out there. The key point is how do you deal with violence. That's what's important, and that's what we try to demonstrate on the screen. Not in a negative way, but in a positive way. And in turn, it is not detrimental to our youth in America. I started at the very bottom in Oklahoma, and I've reached this level of success. Not many countries do you have that opportunity. And so, God bless America because of that.
Very much. America is a great country and gave us a fantastic opportunity, Yoram and me. When we came from Israel and from Europe, we came to Mecca, the Mecca of motion pictures. And we came to pray. And we prayed and prayed. In the beginning, nobody listened. But then we kept on praying. And finally, people began to listen.
It is true. Nobody believed them when they first started. 10 years ago, I guess, when they were a struggling little company, few had faith in them. But they are among the greatest marketing geniuses anywhere. And they have done so well that they make their profit even before the film is premiered. They're now making, I think it's something like 25 films a year. Right?
Right.
Incredible.
For the past 2 weeks, Menahem Golan and Yoram Globus have dominated the Cannes Film Festival with 18 new films. In London, there is speculation and debate about what Cannes will bring to the British cinema.
I'm not disturbed by the Golan Globus arrival in Britain, per se, at all. They're energetic men. They have a genuine commitment to cinema, no question about that. I am concerned at the level of market power that's falling into their hands. I think that control of market power can be exercised benignly, and it can also be exercised aggressively. I've got no reason to assume that they're going to be one or the other. I mean, they'll obviously stand on their record. What is important is I have a great love of cinema, as they have. But I happen to think that cinema is an incredibly important social instrument, and that we live in a society which is enormously influenced by film and television, and we have a responsibility as filmmakers to that society. Now, I've said this before, and I sound like a cracked record. I have a very precise notion of the form of society I want to live in, and I've got an idea of the triggers that create violence, and the triggers that create, I think, social and decent behaviour. This isn't a kind of Mary Whitehouse speech at all. I try to make movies which take a position which is humanist, essentially humanist, and I believe is helpful to society. It's quite clear to me that the majority of their work in the past, and we are talking about the past, has been work which has appealed to the lowest common denominator in the audience.
They've already spent a fortune in England on production and in increasing the quality of the cinemas, and I know that in the few days since they acquired the company, they've been doing deals with English producers and directors